Boom, get it up, yeah. Post-test clarity. Whoosh, get it in there. Episode 16.
Let's go. Welcome back. What are you doing the intro?
Yeah. Big up all of our people in the cars, giving it the toot toot.
Yeah, we love it. If you're new to the episode, we'll tell you all about the toot toot when we get there. But welcome.
First real episode of the season.
Yeah, and this is our first season. You know, we started from the beginning, and we're going all the way to the end. We're going to have race previews. We're going to have race reviews. We're going to have fraudulent guests. And it's probably the crappiest Formula One podcast on the internet, hosted by two complete idiots.
Yeah, so I apparently somehow managed to do 6 years in F1 as a senior systems engineer. And you did 12 years?
10, 11.
So yeah, we have some wheel knowledge.
A little bit of wheel.
That's actually useful.
I mean, as a not Formula One engineer, I don't really know what I'm doing except for making videos and content and trying to share some of that. But to be fair, there's a lot of people from their very comfortable recliners, maybe not even armchairs. These things are fully laid back. That will they'll tell me I'm wrong, and I'm here for it. I love it.
On their lazy boy sofas.
Yeah, exactly.
Updating Twitter off their phone.
I love it.
Dream.
So for
me.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna get a lazy boy from ours. But anyway, welcome to the Engine Braking Podcast. My name's Blake, aka Brrrake. Used to be a Formula One engineer at Force India, Red Bull. Did a bit of simulator performance engineering, a little bit of race engineering at the track, or performance engineering at the track, with a couple of drivers you've probably heard of. We'll talk about them later. But anyway, and then I'm joined by my co-host and internet husband, EngineMode11, aka Dan, aka
hello,
hi,
aka Mr. Toot Toot. And I'm going to abuse the shit out of that button this week.
That is great. That is great. So,
did you listen? Look, the most important part. Did you do any work for Paul di Resta in your career?
I was his performance engineer for 2 seasons.
Automatically makes us the best podcast.
I'm changing the title.
In the F1 space.
PDR Hype Crew.
Yep.
I'm actually going to miss him on Sky. I know some people aren't too crazy about him, but I'm going to miss him on Sky. Like,
maybe now he's available, we can get him.
Maybe.
I'll send him a little DM.
Reach out to the man. Let's go. What?
Talk about mid-jump tires.
Mid-jump Mercedes. I love Paul. But anyway, here's what you can expect if you're new to the episode. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're glad you're here. And if you've turned it off already, you're not going to hear this. But we're going to look at a little bit of the news from what's happened in the last week. We'll do a little bit of a testing roundup, just going through what happened quickly and what that potentially means for the start of the season. We've got a little race one preview, which we haven't really done a proper preview before, but I've thrown some stuff together and a couple stories and anecdotes that you're not going to get on any other Formula One podcast, only on the most shit one on the internet. We'll talk a bit about Bahrain, the weekend, and Dan and I are going to give you our expectations for the weekend. And we got a couple new segments that Dan's got a new one for us, and we'll obviously come back to our Fraud Watch and our Engine Mode Good Boy Awards for the week. And these are going to be a little bit of a persistent, recurring theme that, if you get on Fraud Watch, you can get off the list, but you might be put on probation.
Yeah, and before we get too far into it, I want to big up everyone that's listening to this at the moment, because our last episode of our What to Expect from Testing was officially our most downloaded episode yet.
Oh my goodness! Can we get a toot toot for that, brother? Oh,
we are up there. We're going.
Let's go.
I want you to wind the window down. I want you to find your nearest person walking past, or if you're on the toilet listening, I just want you to shout over the top of the cubicle, be like, "Hey, I want you lot to know the boys are on the up."
Oh, right. Let's get into it. So, as far as news goes for the week, really, I think all we've got is testing and some byproducts of that. But there is one thing that we can expect this weekend. What is that?
Well, we're going to find out who's bullshitting and who's not.
Indeed.
I don't know how you want me to break that down any further than that.
Let's talk about sandbagging. I don't think teams deliberately sandbag, but we're gonna get into that in testing. But Lance Stroll, everybody knows Lance Stroll had a little cycling injury, right? But
that's the official line. I think one late night,
ooh,
he may have found something on one of the higher numbered channels. It got a bit hot and sweaty, and he woke up with wanker's whiplash, and yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, so Lance Stroll has been sandbagging, and he's been spotted in the paddock with it looked like some small bandages and bruising on one of his wrists is all we could see. So he's back in, and there's no freaking way they're gonna let Drugovich, the reigning F2 champion that absolutely decimated the entire field, rock up and hang out with boy Nando.
No. Stroll turned up, and apparently he's been in the factory testing the simulator on like 110% force feedback.
That's like those tests when everybody's like, "Oh, look at these guys training." And it's the video of them like strapped into the cockpit, and they're like, "Argh!" You know that one? Like,
yeah.
Just to, I hate to spoil burst everybody's bubble, but that's not training. That's basically a characterization test that they do to check drivers' strength and stuff, and yeah, they do that like once every other year, and they film some videos because it looks fucking cool. But yeah, they don't do that for training. FYI.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that ever.
No, they don't. They don't do it.
But yeah, no, like you say, he arrived, seemed all right. He had a little bit of bruising, a little bandage. I mean, considering what we were told, he like broke both wrists or something.
Yeah, but that was the Twitter
not
nets.
True. Yeah.
They're like, yeah, he's broken both wrists and fractured his skull. It's like, really? He just probably found the high number channel, like Dan said, and
yeah. You know, it happens. Look, we're all friends here. We can be open and direct about it. That's what people tune in for.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Oh. Right.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent as usual.
Sorry.
But Lance Stroll, lovely to see you. Well done. Good luck this weekend.
Welcome back, mate. So let's get into a little bit of a testing roundup, like what happened, and we'll keep it short because we've got plenty to talk about this week, and I just did a whole entire freaking video on that on Brrrake F1 on YouTube, breaking down every single team, what they looked like, what they expected, what you can expect from them in the race, were they sandbagging, do they look fast or not? So you could check that out. That video is actually doing absolute stonks right now, like I think 60,000 views in a day, which is kind of nutty. Wow. So if you guys have been loving that one up, thank you guys so freaking much. I appreciate that. But let's talk about it. How much testing did you actually watch?
Okay, right. Confession time. The plan was I was going to live stream all 3 days of it. The reality is I think I mentioned this before, but obviously in my real life job, my team of 3 has now reduced to the team of me. So I have been doing nothing but work. So do you want to know how much testing I watched?
None of it, probably.
None of it. And you can hear my dogs again. Yet another podcast episode of my fucking dogs barking in the background. For fuck's sake.
They watched plenty of testing, didn't they?
Yeah. So I didn't get to see any of it. I just read some bits and pieces about it.
You've had your finger on the pulse, checking Twitter every time you went for the toilet break or a cigarette, right?
I've had my finger on something.
Anyway, let's talk about it. Like there's a couple things. Like the front end of the field looks like it's kind of understood. In the back end of the field, I've got some theories. I've been cursed out on Twitter. But we'll get back to that one. I've people have been mad at me, and I'm not sure why, because I don't make the data. I just look at it and tell you what I see. Red Bull.
I don't care what random people on Twitter think. What I want to know is from you, because you did a little video with Autosport as well, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Presence of someone famous chat.
That was actually really wacky thinking. It's like, that is where I go to get motorsport news, is Autosport, And I had a chat with John Noble and Martin Lee, and it was just talking about testing. So I'll give you a little recap of what was on that, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. And hopefully, maybe I'll be back on and invited again. I think they didn't hate me, so that's good. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the front. What was your take on what you saw happening at the front? Where do you think everybody's sitting right now? Because I've looked at a bunch of data and I've got some feelings, but from what you saw.
Yeah, so this would be my predictions would be based pretty much on vibes. whereas you'll have yours and sort of data to back it up. So this will be interesting. So
Let's
hear
go.
me out. My top three this year, I'm saying Red Bull are clearly in the front.
Clear.
And
Okay.
this is my prediction for the entire year. So this is how it's going to end,
Okay.
right? Red Bull up front. I think Mercedes are going to go second this year. And I think Ferrari are going to finish third because the vibes I'm picking up is that Ferrari are having a nightmare with degradation on their tyres yet again, which is something they struggled with last year. So, right or wrong, Blake, tell me.
You know what? I'm feeling that. I think right now, maybe Red Bull clear. I'm not sure. Maybe Red Bull clear, right? Ferrari, I don't know where they're at. Yes, from the limited data we have and the couple of race simulations I saw, that Ferrari's degradation looked bad, very much akin to what we saw the second half of last season for them, which they admitted they were a bit aggressive on the tires. I think the new front tire construction that Pirelli's introduced, which we'll get into in a minute, will make their problems even worse. Yes, you can set up around that. My preseason predictions put Mercedes in P2.
See? Vibes, my vibes,
I know,
and your data match up.
I know, but no. But now that I've absorbed some testing data, Mercedes don't seem that confident. The car looks draggy again. They've kept, some flavor of the zero-ish pod design. They ran the highest downforce wing that they had at the test. They're introducing a lower downforce wing for the race. We'll get into that in a minute. I just don't know if Mercedes got it. I'm just like, I'm not that confident from what I've seen. I think Ferrari were much like Red Bull. They weren't too fussed during the test. They were getting through their program, and if they had a couple tenths left in fuel, they're not bothered. It's not sandbagging. It's just like you don't need to run fumes.
Yeah, but Mercedes are significantly better off than what they were this time last year.
Absolutely.
And, last year, granted, some of it was Ferrari's implosion, but they nearly could have finished P2 last year.
Certainly, but
Which
not
at the start of the year. If you said that about a W13, I probably would have laughed you out of the room.
Yeah, but at the same time,
I'd have even have bet my beard on it, Blake.
Ooh. I looking at it, doesn't look that great right now. They had also on day 2, Mercedes had a whole day of, they had no idea what was going on with the car. There was no front end, there was no balance. They were at the back of the timesheets, and they effectively lost a day of testing to an irrepresentative balance. But let's see. I hope we have a 3-way title fight. I just don't see it. So I think my top 3 right now is Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes for the first part of the season, at least. I think Mercedes should come good. I think they can come good. And if there's a team that can develop out of that, it's them. But I still don't know if their concept and the road they're pushing down will pay off in the long run. So.
And while we're on the topic of Mercedes, didn't they have a hydraulic failure on one of the days?
They did. George's, and I think they lost a couple hours on end of day 2.
Uncharacteristic for a Mercedes to have a reliability problem.
It is indeed. But it's better to have those reliability problems in testing. And brings me on to, we'll come back to Aston, but brings me on to my other point. The 2 teams at the bottom of the mileage charts this weekend, and I feel like there's 2 stories going on here. McLaren had nothing but issues with their car. They were lots of downtime fixing stuff on the front end. And Alpine, they looked like they were running all the time, but they had the second lowest mileage of any team, and their car looked like a heap of crap the entire test. They were slow, but if you go on Twitter, if you talk to the team, if you see the press reports coming back from the team, they're saying, we were doing some extreme setup tests. And I don't want to be that guy, but that's the same line that Mercedes had last year.
So I can't believe I'm going to come into bat for Alpine, but here we go.
Go on. I need this right now because I'm just like too objective. I can't cope with the vibes right now. So I trust your vibes, Dan. Just send them my way, okay?
Yeah. So I believe Alpine because they have an entirely new rear suspension setup. So to me, it seems like their testing was basically, hey, let's try and understand as much as we can about our new rear suspension rather than out and out lap time.
Ooh. And I think you're right. There's something there's something going on there. And reading in between the lines of their suspension design, I think it's twofold. I think they've changed from push or pull rod to one or the other, whichever, it's basically the orientation of the rod which supports the car vertically. They've gone from a pull rod to a push rod, I think, or vice versa. It doesn't matter to me. That in and of itself, I don't think matters. Teams don't like whether you have pull rod or push rod on the rear. Yes, there's some structural things to deal with, but the driver doesn't know any difference. The only thing the engineer needs to know any different is if you're taking shims out of the push rods or pull rods or adding them to go higher or lower on ride height when you tell the mechanics. That's all you need to know. Everything else should be pretty much transparent. So I don't see it. The other thing is, it sounds like they're working on some ride height mechanisms to get the ride height low, end of straight, keep it high in the corners so they can keep the load on the car, keep it from scraping. But honestly, man, I know what you're saying, and I want to believe in Alpine right now, but they literally they did an entire test driving a car around that looked like not ideal. It looked really not good, and people are like, oh, don't worry, they're just testing. I'm like, what did you learn? That's what your simulator's for. And they keep saying, well, our tools are well correlated. It's like, why didn't you do all that shit work in the simulator? Because that's what the simulator's for. Fucking been there, man. I want to. I was
going to say they were the only team that was slower than their 2022 time.
I want to be wrong. Honestly, I want to be wrong because I want to see Alpine up there, 4th, 5th, like they were last year, fighting. But I think.
I don't think it's as bad as everyone's making out.
All right, if they're not, 4th row.
I think they're going to finish the season 5th. There you go. Okay.
I think
hot take.
Okay, let's talk about the back then. Let's talk about the back end. Who's your back of the grid for 2023? End of season, mid-season, whatever.
Again, another hot take, right? Ooh. And it's one that's going to get me struck off the list of any future Red Bull events, but I think AlphaTauri might finish 10th this year,
I'm not arguing too hard with that. Like, I think it's unlikely, but I think it's very possible.
I think if Williams bink like a P8 or something,
yep.
Which they have done in the past, I honestly think Williams, we'll put it this way, I don't think Williams are going to finish 10th this year. I think someone else is going to have the honour of being on the bottom.
Ooh.
It's going to be AlphaTauri or maybe Alfa Romeo. I don't know. I haven't seen much of the Alpha in testing, so I don't know if it looked good or not.
The Alpha looks like it did last year, like pretty good around Bahrain. And good in the test. Joe topped the timesheets one day, which doesn't mean anything. Their race pace and degradation was good as well. So I think Alpha decent. I think the back row is Williams. Or I think I wouldn't be surprised to see McLaren in like 8th, honestly. Since we brought them up. They look horrendously down. Their race pace, their degradation was okay, but their pace was kind of shit. So I don't know. Like, this is testing. This is testing. It's just testing. That's all it is.
It's those stupid Amazon Kindles that they've strapped into the headrests of the drivers. That's what they've completely ruined the
advertising
weight distribution of the car.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are kind of cool though, but
they are cool, yeah.
I don't know. So here's what we need to talk about. I think,
give it to me.
Right. So just a quick wrap up of where I think we're at with the testing pecking order, which does not imply where they're going to end up in the season. Dan and I have obviously given our vibes and picks for the season, but in terms of testing, Haas.
We're pinning your entire reputation on this, by the way.
I don't have one, so it doesn't matter. Haas and Alfa Romeo, they'll be boxing, I think, comparable. The McLaren looked down horrendously bad, and I hope they can fix it, but I don't think this is their year. And they've got Piastri and Lando Norris. Piastri is one of the up-and-comers. He looks like the real deal. And you got Lando Norris, who's not even got to drive a good car yet. I'm like, come on, man. This isn't fair. Like, I'm not like a huge, like, I don't dislike Lando, or like, I'm not a huge Lando fan, but like, he's one of the awesome drivers. And what is he doing driving that thing? It bums me out, man.
He's getting ready to go to Red Bull for next year. That's my super hot take. That's Nando's hot.
Spicy picante. Right. Let's talk about the Dark Lord himself and my dark horse for the 2023 season based on what I've seen so far.
Is this our Lord and Savior, Fernando Alonso?
Yeah, darkness himself.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Dude. Real quick, if you are listening to this podcast in your car, give us a quick toot real quick.
Yeah, give it to us. Come on.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Come on now.
And if you're listening to this in the morning, you're getting ready for FP1, FP2, and I think I might tomorrow night on twitch.tv/BRRRAKE. I might do a little bit of a P1, P2 roundup performance analysis. So, not sure.
Are you regretting putting 3 R's in your name yet?
Nope. I'll just keep telling them. Just keep telling them, man.
Just keep telling them. It's the 3 R's.
Yeah, triple R.
Brrrake.
So, Aston Martin.
Yeah, the hype train is fully left the station.
Yeah, it's...
Have you bought your tickets or are you standing on the platform?
I'm standing on the platform.
Same.
Okay. Like,
so
they looked good, right?
I mean, yes, but are they looking good? Because some engineers are sitting on the pit wall at testing saying, fucking hell, Lawrence has put a lot of money into this. Can we try and actually make it look like we're doing a good job, please? Like, just turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, mate, well, here's the thing. And here's why I think they probably didn't/can't do that. And I know, like, there's so many caveats. It's the end of day 3, the track's rubbered in, everybody's doing quality sims, and the Dark Lord himself is out there doing a race simulation. The first lap on the first set of tires, decent. The next lap, it's faster. The next lap, yet faster again. And that repeats through the entire 3 stints of his race simulation. You can't fake that. Like, so here, let's put this in context. The pace, so the first lap of each of those runs was good. The degradation was negative. And if
right, you have to explain negative degradation, because every time you say that, you make me feel like the tires are magically yeah,
exactly. So
reforming.
Negative degradation is just a numerical thing, and it just says when you look at the lap times versus the number of laps they've done, they don't get slower, they get faster. That's all that means. In a race, typically you're burning fuel off every lap, so you'll gain a couple of hundredths just from losing that fuel, right? But usually you have degradation, which is a positive number, so negative degradation means you're going faster. So that implies to me that he could have actually gone faster on that first lap yet, again, which would have been insane. I didn't look at if you put the whole race simulation and the race time together and compare that to, like, look at what Red Bull did, because Red Bull looked pretty good. Their race pace and deg looked good. And Max's long runs, he's just banging out consistent lap times, so no deg effectively. I think they could have a good race car. I do not think it is a great qualifying car, but in terms of looking around through the lap, high-speed performance of the car is good. Solid. You know, and it's in the mix with the upper end of the midfield / lower end. Ferrari and Red Bull, through corner, high speed, low speed, medium speed performance on top. But Aston's in the mix, I think. If
best of the rest,
probably, yeah. But I think also if this W14 half pod, 0 pod total car philosophy is not the one, they could be onto something and they could race very well and be taking points off of Mercedes. But Mercedes pace and deg looked reasonable. Let's see.
I don't know, man. I mean, I still think someone's got on the radio and been like, hey, Lawrence has put a lot of money into this, guys. Can we please make sure that we don't look arse at testing so we don't all lose our jobs?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's Whitmarsh. That's Whitmarsh, just like, right, we're going to go soak the tires in diesel overnight so they're a bit stickier.
Is he Whitmarsh is back at Aston, isn't he? I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I think everybody's forgot after he looks
I
like...
still always think he was buried at the bottom of the McLaren lake out the front.
I reckon he potentially should have been, or was attempted to get buried in the lake. It's like, hey, Martin, we've got some cement shoes that you could try on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, and let's see. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of everything interesting. I think AlphaTauri don't look great. Williams look like they're towards the back. McLaren hopefully will recover. But like, I still don't know what the heck Alpine were doing. And I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about Alpine, but I don't think I am. They're like, our tools make sense. They're matching. It's like, cool. You gonna do any laps?
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. You gonna do any laps where your car doesn't look like here's to put this in perspective. On day 3, they would have had to remove 60 kilos of fuel to match the front runner pace on single lap. So there's no way you're doing an entire test at 60 kilos. If you are, I'd love to have a conversation with the head of engineering just to understand, because I think there might be something going on that I've just completely missed, but I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I do.
No. So I know everyone listening is on the absolute edge of their seats when we're talking about Martin Whitmarsh. So he's the group CEO of Aston Martin Performance Technologies.
Wow.
He is not dead, drowned at the bottom of the McLaren Lake. He was found. They dragged him back out, and they said, "Martin, do you want a job?" So there you go.
I don't understand that appointment at all. But anyway, why don't we? You want to sneak in our little word from our friends now? Yes.
I will sneak in a word from our sponsors now. And I'm also going to say that I still haven't updated it to say 2023 yet. So it's going to come on and it's going to say 2022. And you're going to stop fucking messaging me about it on YouTube and on Twitter, because I just don't care.
You do care, you just haven't done it yet. I know you care. Right.
Correct.
Guys, hang tight for 1 second, and we'll get right back to it and get into the Race 1 preview, which I haven't done one before properly. I just waffle, but I'll put something together for you.
Hello, me again, just interrupt your podcast episode. Listen, we've been banging on about NordVPN for a while on the show, and it's finally happened. They've reached out to us and are offering an exclusive deal to our listeners. If you are fed up with not being able to access F1 TV Pro due to geographical restrictions, then this is what you need. With NordVPN, you can switch your virtual location to a country that enables the full feature set of F1 TV Pro. It's how me and Blake do it, and we've been happy customers of NordVPN for years. But Dan, I've heard VPNs are great for online protection, but they slow down your internet speed. Come on now, it's 2022. I can stream a multitude of F1 TV HD feeds while hosting a watch-along on Twitch with no issues. Furthermore, NordVPN prevents my internet service provider from bandwidth throttling, so I can actually use my internet connection at the speeds I pay for. They have an app for smartphones that's easy to install and use, plus it's only the price of a cup of coffee every month. So to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan and 4 months for free, visit nordvpn.com/engine. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So give it a try, and if you like it, great. If you don't, you can call us frauds on Twitter. Simple. Now back to the episode. Go and do it so I can afford, get paid and get some money for drugs and hard alcohol, and so I can enjoy the F1 2023 season.
I'm thinking you're fully sarcastic there, but okay.
No,
I could.
I'm too laid back. If I took any narcotics, I don't think I could be anything more laid back than I am now, Blake.
I do think one of maybe next week on our episode we should have a pint though. I do like a nice ale. Yeah. Maybe
we should just get shit faced and do a Drive to Survive review.
Oh, I love it. Let's see. All right.
Drive to shit faced.
Yeah, exactly.
No, maybe that's the wrong message.
Yeah.
Heineken won't appreciate us.
Yeah, they're like, oh God, you're banned. Oh my God. So let's get into the Race 1 preview. What do we got? You got the first part of this?
We have got Bahrain. It's Race 1. It was first held in 2004. Christ, that seems ages ago.
Hey, that was ages ago.
But Bahrain 2012 has a story, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Give us the story.
But Bahrain 2012 is kind of how I ended up as a trackside performance engineer. So back in 2011, 2012, I was a vehicle dynamics engineer at Force India. And there was a serious issue. There were huge protests in Bahrain. 2011, I think, was canceled. Pretty sure that's correct.
And I know there was like a civil... Was it the Arab Spring or whatever it was started kicking off?
Yeah, so there was a lot of unhappy people in the country, and there was a protest. They canceled the race for a year. And then 2012 it was back, but there were still protests, and shit was kicking off there. Like there was like petrol bombs, the police and armed guards were trying to sort everything out. Teams had private security firms escorting them to and from the track, which is pretty wacky. But some stuff kicked off, and basically there was 2 people from Force India that left and flew home that night. they're like, I'm done. And then apparently Bernie said you're never coming back. So they needed a new performance engineer the next week. So I started in Spain. So, you know, it's not a great story, but you know what? You got to be there when right place, right time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
there you go. That is the story of how you ended up trackside. And yeah, so sorry, Bahrain, 57 laps. We got 3 DRS zones. What's interesting about the track? What are we looking out for?
Here's some things. We got to talk about tires. They've got 3 DRS zones. It's a pretty this is one of those tracks that's gone from high downforce to medium downforce just because they're freaking flat out in a lot of places, especially when the fuel drops. So I think you'll see some fuel saving during the race, and tires are going to be an interesting one this weekend. So we've got C1, C2, and C3. That's one step away from the hardest, and it's effectively the same allocation as last year. However, Pirelli have decided last year's C1, that was the hardest we ever want to go, but we want a step between C1 and C2. So now we've got C0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we basically have one step from the hardest selection of compounds. The old C1 is now the C0. So
Enough. Stop. We need to interrupt this very important podcast to announce that Blake's cat has just entered the room.
both of them,
Both of them are now currently going insane in the background.
buddies, come here.
They're doing that thing where cats just look calm and then all of a sudden just go absolutely bananas.
We got Barry and Sterling. If you can see them on the stream, they're super cute. But
Give us a little toot toot for Barry and Sterling, everyone.
and I'm not going to tell you what it's from, but if you get that reference and you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it, tag us on reply to us when we share the post on Twitter tomorrow. Reply what you think Barry and Sterling, where those names come from. And first one to get it right, I'll send you a picture of my cats.
Or just drive through Milton Keynes with your windows down, screaming it out. Blake will hear it somewhere. So you've confused everyone with C1 tires, C2 tires.
Don't
Basically, Pirelli have changed the compound. Big fucking whoop.
Yeah, exactly. But boring. Somebody said that I don't know, somebody said this in the stream earlier, that Pirelli claimed the new tires are 1.5 seconds faster a lap. I'm like, I don't know. I hope nobody said that out loud, because if they did say that out loud,
we're both wearing faces. If you're not watching, we're both wearing faces.
We're going to have to get them on the podcast and ask them.
Yeah, the new C69 tires.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, like someone said they're 2 kilos heavier. I don't know if they assume like all 4 together this year are 4 kilos heavier because they changed the construction.
They changed the construction of the fronts, and they were going to drop from 798 to 796 on the minimum weight. But they're like, the new tires are a little bit heavier, so we'll just keep it at 798. So
because that's exactly what this formula needs, more weight.
Yeah, exactly. You know what they need to do? Like, genuinely, from a performance point of view, if they wanted to make this thing awesome, you would get a synthetic, sustainable synthetic fuel. You would have a V10 engine and no batteries. If you wanted lighter, faster cars, that's it.
Yeah, fuck off, Elon Musk. Fuck off.
Exactly. Anyway.
If anyone's listening to this in an electric car, then
toot toot. So this is our first night race of the year, which presents some interesting challenges for setup, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you have your P1, FP1 and FP3 are in the day, which is super helpful because the track temperature is completely unrepresentative of the quality in the race, which are in the evening.
Yeah.
So yeah, have fun with the data from that.
Dorks. Yeah. Bono, my tires are gone. I know the track's 60 degrees, Lewis. Shut up. No, but seriously, like, that makes it interesting. But at the end of the day, like, this track's been on the calendar for a very long time. I mean, they're very used to doing, P1, P3 or throwaway sessions. Like, honestly, if your car's not sorted at the end of P2, good luck at P3, realistically. Because you can't change anything once you get into qualifying, you dorks. But teams are pretty familiar with the offsets they need to do between P1, P2. Maybe a little bit of mechanical balance, obviously different flap angle, different preparation for the tires. Flat. But, yeah.
I think in FP1, their main concern is going to be, Jesus Christ, I hope this fucking car makes it round in one piece.
Yeah, exactly. You talking about Alpine or McLaren?
Well, I mean, let's be honest, all the teams, because Red Bull got their double DNF last year, didn't they?
We'll get back to that in a second, but oof.
And some teams have already bought upgrades, apparently.
Apparently. We'll come to that in a second. Other things about the track that are interesting, it's great. And it can also be really windy. And there's a lot of discussion about some of the teams having not really too sure about what their wind sensitivity is like, which is basically when it gets super windy and your rear wing starts shitting downforce and the car becomes super unstable, and where it used to be flat is no longer. So
I believe the official driver term is gusty.
Gusty, yeah. It's a bit blowy.
So there you go. That's Bahrain.
Why don't we
Dusty and gusty.
Why don't we rewind? Let's talk about last year, kind of, because
I don't have a rewind sound, but yeah.
Just toot.
Okay.
That's us back to 2022. Talk to me about last year, because I want to hear it again, because if you told me this now, I wouldn't believe you looking at the end of the season.
Red Bull successfully managed to double DNF in the first race of the year, and then went on a rampage of pure rage and aggression, and smashed the competition for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
To be fair, the first half of the season, Ferrari looked very strong.
The Ferrari looked mental, and the qualifying kind of played out like that. So Leclerc qualified just ahead of Verstappen, and Hamilton all the way down in fifth. But last year we also had Bottas in the Alpha qualifying sixth, which is not too bad for an Alfa Romeo. K-Mag in the Haas P7 last year. So I think Alpha and Haas should go well here based on their testing results. And in the past they've done the same, but who knows? It's just testing. We don't.
Yeah, and it's with them, it's the same old story in that if they have a strong car to begin with, they just end up getting outdeveloped by everyone else. It's not like the car gets slower. It's just everyone else outdevelops them because they've got a bigger budget, better resources, or whatever.
More handsome people.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But into the race, both Red Bulls double DNF fuel system issues. Ouch. Leclerc wins ahead of Sainz by 6 seconds and 10 seconds ahead of the Mercs. Yowza. That was not the race start of the season that Mercedes wanted, and I have a funny feeling we're going to see Mercedes
10 seconds ahead of the Mercedes doesn't actually sound that bad when you see how much fucking aggro that car was.
Yeah, was there a safety car though? I believe there might have been from the Bulls breaking down.
One of the,
but
true dat.
Here's so that was last year, but here's one of my favorite things about Bahrain.
What's one of your favorite things about Bahrain, Blake?
But one of my favorite things about Bahrain is when I used to travel there, every other year I would get a hotel room that was a smoking room. And I don't know what it is about the Bahraini guys that smoke cigarettes in their room, but they're rolling Marlboro Reds, and they're just like blowing them into the pillowcases and bed sheets and into the walls. They were heavy tobacco smell in some of those smoking rooms.
They are smoking on that Bahraini pack.
Yeah, exactly. But every Thursday night at the track, the circuit puts on a barbecue of meats and mezzas and like all the little sides and breads, and it's so good, and I miss it so much. Like, I would go back there. Another fun thing about the track, my good buddy Ash Vandelay, she posted a video the other day talking about, did you know that it looks like the track is sandy, but they actually effectively glue the sand down around the outskirts of the track so it doesn't blow around, and that shit is super abrasive. And I know some buddies that did some cycling around there, and one of them fell off. You don't want to fall off on that stuff. Yeah, that's like you got to pick the bed sheets off of yourself in the morning.
Yeah.
It was bad. That was 2017.
See,
not ideal. Not ideal.
I'm perfectly safe from that because I don't exercise. So not a problem for me.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
I
anyway.
just might, I might do a Lance Stroll as I'm busy updating Twitter from my lazy boy and correcting all these fucking engineers that think they know something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, channel 969. I wonder what that one's about.
Bow, chicka, wow.
Oh my god. Toot. Into the weekend. So
Sorry, yeah, into the weekend.
into the weekend, Mercedes did bring a lower downforce ring. They were running their big barn door the entire test. And to me, I don't know, like that looks like they predicted that the high downforce wing was the one they wanted to run. They told production, right, let's build that one. And they get closer to the test and update some simulations, and they're like, you know what, lads, we should probably
Maybe
get that.
not.
We should get that, that level 4 wing coming soon, because they didn't test it at all. But like that's one of those things. Like the lower downforce wing should be all right. And it looks like Lewis is testing that one in P1 because the car's already being built, and George is the big one on. So they'll do a little A/B comparison there. But
Have you actually seen photos of it? Is it like that one they did last year where they pretty much air sawed a giant chunk out of it?
no, it's a proper construction with a different shape.
Man.
It's not the Tim the Toolman special.
The scrap heap challenge.
Yeah, no, it's none of that. But that'll be interesting to see. Why don't we get into the usual segments? But before we do this, as part of our pre-race show, I need your top 5 in quali.
Well, top 5 is in teams or drivers?
Drivers.
You want the grid?
Yeah, top 5.
Top 5 grid.
You know what?
Okay.
Let's do the first 2 rows. Not top 5. Top 5 is
No,
interesting.
no. We're doing top 5. I've committed.
Yep. Okay.
Right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Max.
Which one?
Oh yeah. Which one? Max. How many Maxes are on the grid? You fucking idiot. Max Chilton. He's going to magically come in, make a triumphant return.
Yeah.
Christ. Right. So Max Verstappen, just to clear that up. Sorry, Max Chilton. I don't believe you're going to come back.
No.
I'm going to go Perez.
Oh, bias. Red Bull bias.
It is Red Bull bias.
Cancel him. He's biased.
But because I think Checo is going to have a much better season with this car. So I think we could see him being a little bit cheeky and being up there.
Okay.
So sorry, yeah, Max, Checo, Alonso just for the fucking memes.
Oh my god.
Why not? Just fucking stick him up there. Charles Hamilton.
I'm having a panic attack. Cries and Carlos Sainz. Oh.
Why not?
Good. All right. Somebody write that down for me, please. I'm going Max, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Russell.
See, that's boring.
Oh, it is boring.
Vanilla.
It is boring. Vanilla. No, but I think, yeah, I'm too objective.
Spice up your life. Stick a bit of Alonso in it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Podium. Top 3. Race. Who's a podium?
Podium. It's going to be Charles, Alonso, and Lewis. Because Red Bull are going to win the season this year, so they have to double DNF again.
Is there a bet on the bookies for a double DNF Red Bull race 1?
Should be.
You get out there.
If Red Bull don't DNF, if another team double DNFs in this first race, that's it. Put all your money on them to win this season.
Okay. My podium, I'm going to go for Red Bull top 2 steps with an Alonso on the 3rd step.
Yes, come on, Alonso.
Go on, lad.
We are all on the Alonso train.
Oh my God! Somebody in the Twitch stats saying double DNF from Merc. No, I don't think so. But anyway, we've got a new segment. Tell us about this new segment.
Oh, this one's a good one. Strap yourself in. It ties in quite nicely to what we just said. So we have been accused unfairly of having a bit of a Red Bull bias. I say, yeah, we do, because they fucking paid our mortgages for like 6-7 years. So of course we got bias towards them. However,
thanks, Christian.
We want to show everyone that we can hate every team equally. So I'm bringing in random fandom. So for this race and for every race in our previews, I got a very professional spin the wheel here. I can't show you it 'cause it's a webpage. Just trust me. And we are going to spin and pick a team that we're going to rep for the season. For the race, upcoming race.
Okay.
Then we got to do a little school report on them on our race review show.
Is this like one of those like blindly gassing them up after the race and just telling them, "Oh, guys, you guys did such a good job, great teamwork, good job."
You can, if you want to do that, you
No, I
can,
don't want to do
or
that. It makes me
you
sick.
you can fucking drop a nuke on them, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
But this is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So, do you want the first spin?
Do we each get one?
Yeah, one each.
Yeah, go on. I'll take the first spin.
All right.
If
This
you give me
one's for you.
Alpine, I'm gonna punch you.
No. Here we go. You've got. Oh, I'm not joking. You got Ferrari.
Okay. Right. Give him your spin.
Yeah, right. My spin. Spin it up, baby. Here we go.
Spin me right round, baby.
Get in. I've got Alfa Romeo.
Okay. That's
Here
not
we
too
go.
bad. That's not too bad.
So that's going to be our homework. We got to do ourselves a little report on them for the race review.
Deal. Right. Let's move on. So I'm gonna do a little report card on Ferrari. Dan's gonna do Alfa Romeo. I think those will be two good looking scorecards. Hopefully, neither of them cock it up too badly.
No, and I was going to suggest maybe we'd make it into a little competition of where we see who wins at the end of the year. However, you've got Ferrari and I've got Alfa Romeo, so let's not do that.
Yeah, you're gonna get absolutely skill gapped there, brother.
I'm just going to change all of yours to Williams for the rest of the season.
Head eyes, bro. Literally. That brings me to our next segment, and I got to make sure I push the right button. Hold on.
Fraud Watch.
Okay. If anybody's
It's back.
it's back.
It's back.
It's back, and we've got another way to do this. So when somebody or someone goes on Fraud Watch, we'll each nominate someone. They're on Fraud Watch for 3 races.
Yep.
And we'll get into the way that they can get off of probation. But if you get Fraud Watch twice, you're on the naughty list, and you just go in the bin for the rest of the season, and we don't talk about you nicely at all. Or we maybe have to say something nasty about your team every season. Or it doesn't have to be a team. It could be a person, a driver, a company. It doesn't matter.
Anything related to the F1 weekend in question.
Yeah. And if anybody says the Las Vegas sequin jackets, you guys just hate America. That's all.
Mate, there's nothing wrong with sequin jackets,
No.
as you will know if you watched our 2022 review awards, end of year awards show.
It was hot. It was really hot.
I don't know. I've still got it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but yeah.
USA. All right. So, right, each of us are going to nominate somebody for Fraud Watch this week. Do you want to go first, since I got the first spin?
All right, we're doing full watch of testing, are we?
Yeah. Let's start it off.
All right, McLaren then, straight in.
Okay,
Bang,
straight
McLaren.
Okay. Yeah.
Zach Brown is the perfect guy I want if I'm sitting somewhere and I need someone to sell something, ice to Eskimos. But if I want him to run a technical department or a team to build me a car, then no. Go home, Zach.
All right. I'm doubling down. I've been getting it in the neck, kind of politely, in a French accent in caps lock on Twitter all week. But
Monge too.
Alpine,
Yeah, for their
Alpine
questionable
yeah,
testing.
the Alpine's on Fraud Watch for wasting 3 days of testing. So
Shocking.
I know.
We are now cancelled in France.
Yeah. No, I like Gasly. I like Ocon. I know a lot of people that work there. I just don't know what they're doing, and I haven't bothered to ask them. So I'm just gonna go on vibes on this one.
The all French lineup. We're going to get some baguette bashing this year,
Oh, let's go. So we've got.
which is why Lance hurt his wrist.
Oh my god. Right. Toot. We've got one more segment, which is how I mentioned that you could be removed from Fraud Watch. You could be removed from Fraud Watch probation by.
How do you do that?
Oh, who's a good boy?
I am. I'm a good boy.
So, Engine Mode Good Boy is basically somebody trying to tell Dan that he's like virtue signaling
More
on.
bias.
Yeah, you were virtue signaling on Twitter when you were actually being like, "Hey, here's something really interesting, and this is worth talking about." And people are like, "Oh, okay, Red Bull bias. Now he's trying to be nice." But anyway,
Anyway,
you want me to go first?
and Engine Boy Good Boy for testing. This is tough for me,
This is
right?
very
because
tough.
I didn't get to see a lot of testing. However, our boy Joe topped the timetables on like one of the days.
Yeah, he did.
And I think he has immaculate riz and fashion sense.
Yep.
And I'm a bit of a fanboy, so he's my good boy.
Okay. You know what? Dan's got Joe. I'm going with his teammate, man. Valtteri.
Yeah,
Valtteri.
the mulleted, beer drinking.
Yeah, just vibes out, man. This guy, Valtteri, goes hard. I'm looking forward to Alfa Romeo having a good season, and I just like seeing Valtteri right now kicking ass.
Yeah.
With the mullet and his testing helmet was so good. You know what it needed? It needed.
Damn, that should have been my good boy. But that was.
It needed a little tuft of hair like off the back of the helmet for the mullet. But
you see the motorcycle helmets that have got like the
mohawks or whatever
on them and that. Yeah. We needed a bit of that at the back.
He needs one of those. So I think that's all we've got today. You doing any streaming this weekend? You chilling?
No, I got a wife, 2 dogs, and 3 kids. I've committed myself to doing this podcast, and anything else is just a bonus.
Right. Here's a little bit of a problem. Thomas said, if Valtteri gets a podium, will Blake get a mullet? And I need a haircut desperately. I was going to go tomorrow morning, but I'm going to go have breakfast with some mates. That sounds weird to say. I'm going to have breakfast with people. Weird. But I don't know.
Is it weird because you're socializing?
Yeah, it is.
And
it's super weird.
We just sit in our spare rooms and hot takes of F1 all day.
Hey guys. Mullet, if Valtteri gets a podium. Yeah, sure. Whatever. I'll do it.
It takes too long for my actual hair to grow, but my beard grows quite nicely. So maybe
I'll do it.
If Valtteri gets a podium, I will shave it down to like a Valtteri tash and keep it for a month or something.
No, let me do this one. This one's mine. I got this one.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't grow a fucking beard.
No, I can't. I can grow a beard. I just can't grow like the sides. So anyway, this weekend, if you're listening to this podcast, I will be streaming live on Twitch. I'll be live an hour before qualifying, an hour before the race. And if you haven't joined in, we've got F1 Multiviewer powering our timing. And it's a very interesting watch-along experience. Maybe it's not for everybody, but a lot of people have said they just mute their TVs and hang out with us in the stream. So I'll be talking about the race. We'll see you there. And if you haven't left us a nice review on Spotify.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, seriously, what's wrong with you?
Pricks.
Do it.
Do it now.
Just do it. Anyway, you guys do me a favor and yeah.
Wait, one more thing.
Oh.
Did you say you're doing a live watch along on Sunday for the race?
Wet.
What? Is that yes or a no?
Wet. Yes. I'm sorry.
Wep. What's wep mean?
We.
Fucking Americans never do this with an American. I'm telling you now.
But I'm
all these random fucking phrases.
But I am Le French.
In and out fucking burgers and God knows what else.
In and out fries, trash.
Blech. Yeah, okay. This Sunday I'm going to be doing that last lap live with Tomo.
You're going over to hang out with the boys.
Yeah. I'm going to go hang out in London town.
All right, mate. Well, send us some pictures from the set, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Feet pics?
Nah, that's good. Unless it's Niren's feet.
Yeah, it's be the first time I met him. I've not met him before.
Oh!
He wasn't there last time, was he? He was
shoot.
Cow.
Shoot, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. All right, man. We'll have a good time.
I will. Fuck you. I don't need you anymore. I'm on the up.
Toot. Everybody toot the horn. We'll see you guys next week for the Bahrain race review. And then the week after, we'll get into a little preview for the next one. Peace out.
Give us the toots. Give us the 5-star reviews. Big up your nan. Big up your local butcher. Shout out to your local In-N-Out, but don't eat the fries.
Yep.
And fish and chips for life.
Yep.
Fuck off.
Right. Later, jokers.